Once again, we're just waiting 5 more minutes. We will start at 6:05 for everyone to tune in. So feel free to maybe talk to each other because look, just to be clear, there is no agenda today. Because this call is supposed to be more of a, you can say, intro call. I just want to see what you guys like, what you guys prefer. And based on that response, we will host these regular calls. So the agenda is we will just, I mean, there's no agenda, but roughly we will just go over basic development of Solana. I assume a lot of you already have already started working on your projects, so we won't cover deep into how you can build stuff because it's maybe not early enough for that. Then we will see some hackathon stuff where what's the benefit of winning Solana hackathons and how you can win them, and what are some other projects which have won the hackathon, and some general advice because I have also won Solana hackathons, and we will cover that as well in just a few minutes. And also it's a good opportunity for you all to connect with each other as well, because I'm just hosting the call. It doesn't mean I have the right to speak. Only you guys can talk, you guys can discuss, we can discuss together. It's completely chill. Don't worry about anything. Let's wait for 3 more minutes, and you guys can start talking, by the way, like if you want to know what others are building, and maybe get to know each other. If you have not found a teammate yet, you can also consider this as an opportunity to talk to others maybe and get to know each other and maybe form a team. And one thing is, I feel like a lot of you, like not just you all, in general, people often, oh, okay, Shabazz, you sent me a message, a direct message here on Zoom. You can probably change it to everyone so that everyone can see it. Yeah, I was saying it, a lot of you might have a concern that I don't want to share my idea with others because what if they steal it? But don't worry, man, seriously. Being worried about someone stealing your idea is actually, it's just not needed, because what matters is your execution, and we will see how you can exactly distinguish yourself and how you can win the hackathon. Idea is probably the least important thing out there. What matters is what you are building. So you shouldn't be too afraid of sharing your idea. I think it's actually better so that you can get more reviews, feedback, and thoughts of others. So don't be too shy about sharing what you are building, really. Yes, Laksh, this is being recorded, and we will share the recording in the group. Maybe I will just confirm with the team. But yes, it's being recorded. Shisha, once again, I'm not going to pronounce your names correctly because I suck at it. You can definitely be a person who does not have development knowledge and still form a team. That's because, 2 seconds, just 2 seconds. Yeah, that's because you always need someone who can sell the idea, right? In fact, I would say the best team is where you have 2 co-founders. One is a technical person and the other is a non-technical person. So one will build stuff and other will sell stuff. So even if you're non-technical, then you can form a team with someone who knows development already. Never form a team with someone who is also like you. You want a diversity of skills. So I would say you should try to connect with people and in general, talk to them. That's why we're also holding this call, so that you can maybe connect with people. And yes, you can definitely form a team. It's not difficult being a non-technical person. In fact, once again, at the end of the session, when we will see the suggestions and tips part, I will mention how technical stuff is actually not as important as people think. So don't worry if you are not, more of a development guy. Nikhil,
Hello.
our teammate. Yeah, hey Lalit, hey.
Yes, hi Syed. I wanted to ask if I build an application that only accepts payments through Solana, is it considered a good enough project for the hackathon? Like for just, I'm using Solana just for accepting payments.
But what's the wider use case of a project? It depends on that. I mean, if you are just using Solana to accept payments, that's completely fine. But it really depends on what's the wider use case of your product.
Okay. It was something like Super DM. You might have heard of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So building a application that accepts payments through Solana to message, some like really big Web3 person or anything like that.
Sounds like an interesting idea to me. And if you want, like, honestly, when you're starting, you should not worry about building something that's completely finished. For example, you're saying if you only accept Solana, is that fine or not? That's completely fine. You can always expand to maybe accepting multiple, cryptocurrencies. That's completely fine. Don't worry about that. If that's your question, if I'm understanding it correctly, if you're worrying about if it has limited app options or something like that.
Yeah, no, I was only concerned about that. It's a very small use case of Solana in my application. So, is it a like good project for this hackathon or not?
Yeah, you can still submit it. Once again, the purpose of Solana hackathons is so that you can build real world applications that can be used by people. So if it's using at least any component of Solana network or in general Solana blockchain or in any dev tool of it, that's completely fine. A lot of times people end up doing the opposite, which is actually very harmful, that they build something that's actually not helpful at all, but they would just put it on blockchain. They would say, for example, I have built an email, but it's on blockchain. But what's the benefit of that? That's a question that you should ask. So the fact that your application is using blockchain or not does not really matter. Yes, for Solana hackathons, it should use Solana to some extent, but don't worry that if it's using enough Solana or not. That shouldn't be the question you should be asking. You should focus on building something really cool that uses Solana blockchain in some way at least. So yes, you should not be worried.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Welcome. So I think we can kick this call off now. We can go to the FAQs, and question stuff segment at the last. Because if I start answering all the questions right now, we would never end up proceeding further. That's why. So, Sarthak, you have said that. Okay. Oh, okay. Sarthak, I actually am not sure. I've not talked to the team of OR yet. So, uh, I'm not sure if they have anything like Discord or not. Sorry. Maybe after this call, I will research a bit and let you know. But right now, I can't really say. So guys, I think right now I'll just start this call now. If you have questions, let's keep this for the last, because then we would never end up proceeding further. And once again, some of you are sending me direct message here on Zoom. Just change it to meeting group chat, because then everyone will be able to see your message, and it would be a bit more collaborative stuff, Unless something is really important, something very secret, then you can DM me. Anyways, let's kick this off, guys. This is a Radar Hackathon workshop, the first of its kind, maybe. And honestly, we won't cover too much of the development in terms of hands-on coding stuff, but that would get boring, to be honest. We will just cover basics on how transactions maybe work, how they're structured, and some basic stuff about the Solana network. And then we'll move on to the hackathon part. That's majority of the workshop, really. There are not a lot of slides. You can see it's only, I think, 16, 14 actually. So we'll get over that. And mostly it will be talking between each other. I don't want to share my ID with anyone else. Vishal, okay, that's fine. So a bit about me. Move further. Yo, that's me. I think that's a pretty cool picture, maybe of mine, or maybe that's cringe. I don't know. So some few points about me. I have been a developer in the Solana ecosystem for the last 3 years, and I am the winner of Solana Summer Camp Hackathon. It was one of the 2 yearly hackathons that Solana conducts every year. And I came second in the payments category in that hackathon. It was a very fun experience. We learned a lot. We built really cool things. And I would love to share that experience with you guys as well, because I think it will be quite motivating in general. And then I won the Solana Sandstorm Hackathon, which I don't know if you guys are aware of or not, but it occurred, I think, in the February of 2023, last year. It was a community hackathon. It was not one of the twice held hackathons yearly. It was a community hackathon, and I also came first in one of the tracks. It had many categories, in fact, because anyone could just become the sponsor of that hackathon, since it was a community hackathon. And if you are the sponsor of the hackathon, you could build your own track. So I specifically won in a sports betting UX track. So I will share that experience as well. And I'm also a Super Team India member. How many of you are Super Team members here? Or maybe contributors even? You can just drop a message in the chat. Super Team contributors, raise your hands. Or just say, yo, I'm a Super Team contributor. Vishal, yo. Vishal is a contributor. Okay, not a lot. Contributor, okay. Not a lot. Fine, it's fine. We can move forward. Now, Ankush, you can become a super team contributor by contributing to the ecosystem, or maybe you're contributing to one of the super team repositories if you're a developer. There's a super team labs GitHub, which is, I think, super team, github.com/super team labs, if I'm not wrong. Maybe it's just super team DAO. Yeah, it's super team DAO. So the labs is the name. So there are a bunch of repositories by super team members, which you can contribute to if you're a developer. And in general, writing blogs is also a good way. There are many things. You just have to contribute to the Solana ecosystem to become a super team contributor. So we're going to be talking about a bit of theoretical stuff in case you all are completely new. So first of all, on blockchain, your wallet is your account. So whenever you have your account, that's the main gateway to any blockchain application, to the development or just receiving money or anything. Because blockchain's wallet, or your own wallet, acts like your identity. Okay. So we have two types of wallets here. We'll just mute anyone who does not, intentionally open their mic. Vishal, I like your spirit, Vishal. You have been really active in the chat. That's nice. So we have hardware wallets that are considered more secure. That's where you store maybe a lot of funds. Maybe, if you have a lot of funds, you can store that in hardware wallets because they are not connected to the internet. So they are less exposed to being vulnerable to hacks or something. So they are more secure. They are like pen drive. In fact, let me show you guys. So I have a ledger sitting here. So it looks like a pen drive. Let me just show you guys. So it looks like a pen drive. It's a hardware wallet. So you can store your crypto safely on this device. It's basically storing your wallet's key pair. Basically your wallet's, you can say, password, and it's not connected to the internet by default. So it's more secure. And then we have software wallet. So for example, you would have a Phantom wallet. Maybe you would have a Soulflare wallet. How many of you have a Solana wallet already? Maybe you have installed Phantom. Maybe you have installed Soulflare. Maybe, I don't know, Backpack. How many of you have Solana wallet? Nidit, hey, yes. Which wallets do you have? Write the name of your wallet. Let's see what is the popular wallet here. MetaMask. Okay, that's Ethereum. Oh, wait, did MetaMask ask Solana support recently? I don't know. I'm not keeping up with them. Backpack, MetaMask. Ledger. There we go. Phantom. Backpack, Soulflare. Meta. Okay, Anguish, thanks for the clarification. I don't keep up much with the Ethereum stuff, so sorry. I did not know about MetaMask, Solana stuff. That's nice. Okay, Phantom, Harsh, Nikhil, Phantom, nice. So most of you seems to be having Solana wallet, which is good because Solana wallets are your gateway to blockchain and cryptocurrency in general. Aditya, I see you have raised your hand. If you have any questions, you can ask, or if it was a mistake, you can just say it in the chat as well. Janvi, nice. Okay, thanks for the clarification, Edith. Okay, nice. Seems like a lot of you use Phantom. Some of you use Backpack. That's nice. Some of you use MetaMask, Soulflare, Trust Wallet. Haha. Okay, that's nice. So since I said that wallet is the most important thing in your blockchain journey or development. Oops, someone opened up their mic. Okay, that's closed now. So since it's the most important thing, as a developer, I'm talking about developers here. As a developer, you would need a way to interact with the wallets, right? So in Solana, we have this package or a framework called Solana Wallet Adapter. So using this package, it's a TypeScript package. You can interact with your Solana wallets and you can perform all sorts of actions, which includes requesting transaction signatures. Transactions are basically any action that you do on blockchain that we will just cover now, just after this. So you can use a bunch of stuff with this wallet adapter package. So if you're building a Solana application, you would most likely end up using this package as one of the other packages that you would use. So yeah, wallet adapter is a core framework that's used to interact with wallets on Solana. That's the main thing I'm trying to say. Okay. Once again, Solana wallet adapter basically allows you to basically have a login with Google sort of thing for your Web3 application, because your wallet acts like your identity. Okay. So if you want to allow any user to authorize into your dApp, you can just add a connect wallet button, and that would act as a login with Google button for you. And is someone's mic on? Is someone trying to say something?
Someone's tag.
Sorry.
I will just mute you. I think that's a mistake. So you have three packages in the Solana wallet adapter framework. Basically, you have the wallet adapter base that has the main logic for you. Then you have the React package that has the React support for the wallet. And then you have some nice built-in UI components from the wallet adapter React UI package, which has a wallet connect button, which has some other simple UI for you to have everything out of the box. So we have a really cool framework for interacting with wallets. It's fine. So moving forward with transactions. Okay, so we have to understand how transactions work, because transactions are the fundamental action that you do on blockchain, whether it be Solana, whether it be something else. We will see how exactly Solana transactions are structured so that we can get a better idea of how transactions look like and how you can interact with them. So transactions basically are any action that you do on blockchain. It could be sending money. It could be interacting with a DeFi application. It could be updating data. It could be uploading something on blockchain. It could be anything. Any action that you do on blockchain is in form of a transaction. Okay. So in Solana, this is how a transaction look like. Once again, it's simplified for you all because we won't get into too technical stuff, because I know a lot of you are not developers here. So I don't want to burden you all with this. That's why we're not even coding in this workshop. So transactions generally have two things. One is a message, the other are the signers. Now, message contains the actual transaction data, like what this transaction is supposed to do, the main actual logic of the transaction that's in the message. Then you have signers, which are a bunch of accounts that are actually authorizing the transaction, which means they have added a digital signature in that transaction, basically having you could say they're proving that they are allowing this transaction to go further. So they are signers for you. Then in the transaction message, you have two things. One is the instructions, the other is the recent block hash. You don't have to worry about recent block hash here. It's more of a development thing. But with instructions, you have bunch of actions that you could do in a transaction. So maybe you want to send Solana to someone, and you also want to, maybe in the same transaction, you also want to Solana to two people, for example. So if you have person A, you want to send one sol to person B and person C. So sending one sol from you to person A could be one instruction. Sending one sol from you to person B could be another instruction. So there are two instructions, which means there are two actions. Now you can bundle these two actions together to form a single transaction. Now you would send this single transaction and these two instructions will be executed. So what I'm trying to say is that a transaction can have multiple instructions in them. Okay. So within the instructions, here I have a simple transaction example where you are sending sol to someone. Okay. So in this particular example, which I will just mute you there. Sorry about that. So in this particular example, you have a transaction message and we're investigating the instructions of it. And in that instruction, we can see this instruction one, the sender box here, which has two things. One is the accounts and the other is the transfer amount. Transfer amount is the data basically that is being sent over this transaction. And accounts are all the accounts that are being involved in this transaction. Now, when you're sending money to someone, how many accounts are involved there? Can you guys take a guess? I mean, it's in the screen, but still. When you're sending money to someone, how many parties are involved? Ishan said 3. Lalit said 2. Ishan, why did you say 3? Vishal also said 3. Let's see. I can understand why people are saying 2, but I'm interested in the answer that are saying 3. How many parties are involved there?
One is sender, another is receiver, and the third is the contract.
Okay, that's you're correct. So Soham is actually correct. System program, which are correct. So actually there are 3 parties involved in a transaction. Ishan, you are also correct. So actually there are 3 parties involved in a transaction. But to those who are saying 2, don't worry. We actually just need to care about the 2 parties in reality. Because when you're sending a transaction, you have the person who's sending the money, the person who's receiving the money, and then the smart contract that is actually executing the logic to send the money on blockchain. So no, it's not the node, it's the smart contract, or we call them programs on Solana, that's actually executing the logic. So we actually don't have to worry about the smart contract here, because when you're sending money to someone on Solana, we already have the program that's called system program built by Solana Labs that's handling the transaction sending logic for us. So what really matters for us are the 2 accounts. That's us, that's sending the money, and the other person who's receiving the money. So here, that's why I have just written a sender and a receiver here on the right side of the box, where you have 2 people in the accounts field who are basically responsible for this send sol transaction. Yes, the third person is the smart contract, but we don't need to worry about smart contract, right? Because it's executing the logic for us. We don't have to code anything there. It's already there for us by Solana Labs. When we're building custom programs on our own in Solana Rust, then we have to worry about program stuff. But here, sending sol is a action which is being facilitated by the Solana Labs system program smart contract. Okay. Now here you can see that this accounts, we have 2 accounts, sender and receiver. They have 2 fields in them. One is the is signer, the other is the is writable. Now is signer means that if this particular account actually signed this transaction, so if this particular account authorized this transaction, now when you're sending money to someone, you would need to authorize that, okay, I have to debit some amount from my account. So that's why the sender is the signer. But when it comes to the receiver does not have to be a signer, right? Because the receiver is supposed to receive the money and anyone can receive money. You don't have to ask them if you want to receive money or not, right? If you have some money, you can send it to anyone using their wallet address. That's why the receiver is not the signer. But you can see is writable field here. Is writable means that if you can write or update some data of this account or not. Now, when you're sending money, you have to update the data of both parties. And what's that data? What do we need to update in both parties' end? What do you guys say? When we're sending money, both accounts need an updation. What kind of update is that? What value are we updating? Balance, correct. We have to update the balance or amount of both accounts. So for the receiver, the amount would get added, and for sender, the amount would get reduced. That's why in this case, both is writable is true, because we want to update something that's the balance or the amount from the accounts of both parties involved in this transaction. Now, when you're interacting with some other applications, you don't have this is writable true always, because in many actions, you actually are not updating your balance. You're not sending money to someone, right? Here we are sending money, so we have to update the balance, which is one of the fields of the accounts of both parties. That's why we have is writable true for both of them. But for the smart contract, is there anything we updated for it? No, right? Because the smart contract is just executing the logic for the transaction to facilitate. So if we consider the smart contract as a third party involved in this particular action, the balance of that or any piece of information of that smart contract is not being updated. So is writable would be false for that smart contract. I hope that clears it up. It was the basic transaction structure of a Solana transaction. I'm just clearing it up because Solana transactions are structured a bit differently from Ethereum or something else. And ultimately, you have to know how transactions and accounts work, because Solana account model is something that is the most unique aspect of it. And I'm sorry I'm not able to keep up with the chat messages of all of you, because I'm also taking care of these slides. We will talk a bit at the end. Okay, don't worry. Harsh, I will reply to you at the end. Okay. Let's move on quickly. Now, that was the development part, really. I think it was pretty easy, nothing special about that. So we are here for the Radar Hackathon. Now, obviously, you guys must already know about all these things that I mentioned here. You have $600,000, that's 5 crore rupees prize pool. Then for the top winners, there is additional funding of 2 crore INR. So if you are one of the top winners, then you could also get additional funding. You have mentorship, you have networking, and that date is already there. So you guys must be already familiar with all these things, so we can move forward to respect the time we have. Now, Solana hackathons, why are they special? Now, what I want you all to do is to get the regular aspect of hackathons or the regular perspective of hackathons out of your mind, because Solana hackathons are different. In fact, calling Solana hackathons is not fair, because they are more like startup competitions. Because Solana hackathons are structured in a way that they want you to build not a project, but they want you to build a product, something that can be used by people all around the world. So here are some statistics and some information about Solana hackathons. We have had over 70,000 participants in the last 3 years of Solana hackathons. Then a lot of projects that are very big, which we will see in a second, came out of these hackathons. There are some events as well that community organizes for hackathon participants. We have build stations around the world where you can join some super team members to work together on hackathon projects. We have some other events by other parties. Nothing is done officially by Solana, because the community is so active that you always get some kind of events around you, mostly in the big cities, but yeah. Then you have over 4,000 projects launched via Solana hackathons, and all of this in the duration of just 3 years. In the last 3 years, all this has happened. And this is not even it. Winning Solana hackathons is a very big thing, because like I mentioned, it's not fair to call them hackathons. They are more like startup competitions. In fact, when I won the Solana Summer Camp hackathon, I got a lot of DMs from venture capitalists and angel investors interested in funding my project. Why I rejected all the offers, because I had some other ideas and plans in mind. But I was actually quite surprised to see that I have not only won the hackathon and won some amount of money, I have actually won recognition, and I have actually gotten eyes on me by other people, especially prominent people in the ecosystem. So many people DM me for investment opportunities, and it's not just me. Every Solana hackathon winner experiences this. So winning Solana hackathon automatically opens doors for you for further funding opportunities. So it's not just about winning, XYZ amount, whatever the first prize amount is. That's just one thing that comes with winning Solana hackathons. You get a lot more opportunities, and people have sort of this belief that's formed about you that, okay, you will succeed if you're building a project once you have won a Solana hackathon, because winning Solana hackathons is a big thing. I'm just trying to amplify that. So this is Matt Taylor. He is the co-founder of Colosseum, which facilitates all the Solana hackathons now. And he tweeted this out 2 years ago, where we can see some of the biggest VCs fund these Solana hackathon winners. And yeah, he's trying to basically, you could say, underline the aspect of VC funding that flows into the projects of Solana hackathon winners. And just to get a scale of it, all the Solana hackathon winners in the last 3 years have collectively raised over $1 billion. And that's a huge amount. They have raised $1 billion in the last 3 years, all the Solana hackathon winners combined. So you can see there's a lot of VC funding that's flowing into Solana hackathon winners. So it's definitely a very big thing to win. Like $1 billion is a very big amount, obviously. That's why I've written these zeros specifically. I did not write 1 billion because zeros look nice. But who are the winners? Naman, what's the time for Solana hackathon? Well, let's go back. Oh no, I moved further. Oh no. Moving back, I forgot the date. It's 8 October. So you can submit before 8 October. So you have a lot of these projects. Some of you might be familiar with this. How many of you know about at least one or two of these protocols? I know I spelled Streamflow wrong at the bottom there. It's Streamflow, not a Falvo. So these are a bunch of projects that were launched via Solana Hackathon. Nice, Prashid. Man, I'm so bad at pronunciation. I'm sorry, but that's nice. You know all of them. 8, Ankush. That's nice. I know Tensor. I don't know Tensor, man. Tensor, they're doing amazing. Aditi, Tensor, Harsh, Tensor. Nice. Ishan, Dialect. So these projects that you hear, Aditi, it's Streamflow. Okay. So these projects that you hear, they are all actually Solana Hackathon winners, and there are so many more that I could not even cover in this single slide. Hubble, yeah, Parcel, nice, yeah. So many of these protocols actually came out of Solana hackathons. So, these are very big Solana projects, right? Some of them are maybe not that active these days. For example, Fricton and Tulip, they are not that active. Hubble also, like Nikhil mentioned. And Jupiter, yes, how did I miss that? Yeah, there's so many projects, man. I cannot even cover all of them. Vishal, you're correct. So many of these projects actually came out of Solana hackathon. Dialect is there, if you are, yeah. There are so many of these projects that came out of Solana hackathon, and they're all very successful, right? That's why you all know the name of many of these. So yes, this is quite impactful. So nice. Let's move forward. So we are in the tips section here. So from my own experience and from talking to other people, Lalit, Jupiter was actually it's an aggregate. It's not a DEX on its own. So basically, it aggregates and gives you the best price out of all the DEXs out there. Radium is a DEX. Orca is a DEX. There are some other DEXs as well. And Jupiter just gives you the best route to the best price possible for your token swap. Jupiter also has a lot more new features now. You can place, you can trade on it, you can DCA on it, you can do a bunch of other stuff as well. So Jupiter is a lot more than a DEX. It's actually not a DEX, it's aggregator. But say often people confuse it with a DEX because just like DEX says, it allows you to swap tokens, although it's not having DEX functionality within itself, it's just aggregating the prices. Okay. 2 seconds. I got a text. I'll just reply to it very quickly. Harsh, yes, Tensor is for entry trading. So some advice, how you can maybe end up winning the hackathon. Okay. You have to build products, not projects. So don't consider your project as a, maybe something that you just build for winning the Solana hackathon and you just forget about it. Try to think of it as a real world thing that people can use. Build something that's useful that people can use. Okay. I know a lot of hackathons that where you just build a project, you end up winning, and you just forget about the project. You just get the money or you get the recognition and you just forget about it. But Solana hackathons are not like that. You are getting so much recognition from VCs, from the Solana communities. You are getting a lot of funding. So it's not just about building a project and forgetting about it. You have to build something like a product, and you have to portray your project as a product as well in your submission. That's how judges can know that you are building something for the long run. That's the ultimate goal you should have. You're building a startup. You're not building a project. Okay. Then second point is tech doesn't matter. I know a lot of people like to complicate things and use these fancy terms that my project is using compressed NFTs to power my blockchain powered machine learning, stuff and that, those complex terms are absolutely useless. Okay. You don't have to flex your technical knowledge. It's absolutely useless. Users don't care what your tech is. No one cares if Twitter is using, AWS or Google Cloud. No one cares about that. No one cares if your project is even using blockchain or not. In fact, the best example that I would give is about Sphere Labs. How many of you know about Sphere Labs? It is Solana Hackathon winner as well. How many of you know about it? I forgot their, yeah, let's see their website. So I really like one thing about this is that they, I came second in the Solana Hackathon payments track. They came first. So they were sort of my competitor. Now, one thing that is really interesting about them is that they are powering their payments using Solana. They have won a Solana hackathon, but if you search the word crypto in their website, you would not find it. If you search the word Solana in their website, you would not find it. If you search the word, Web3, you would not find it. They're not using this Web3, crypto, blockchain, these words to market because no one cares if your project is using these things or not. These technologies are only there for you to improve the user experience, and Sphere is utilizing that. But they're not using these terms at all. They want to build a competitor to Stripe. You guys must know about Stripe, right? It's a payments integration tool, very, very, very awesome. And they're building a Stripe competitor basically. And they're not using these words that we are using blockchain and stuff because no one cares about that. So that's the thing that I'm trying to convey. You should not really advertise using this blockchain thing, because sure, people in the crypto ecosystem might like it, that okay, you're using blockchain and stuff, but in the wider world out there, no one cares if you're a crypto person or not, if your project is using crypto or not. What matters is that if your product is actually useful, if the thing that you're building can be used by people all around you. So that's why try to sort of portray your product as something useful for the world. And yes, if it's using blockchain behind the scenes, if it's using Solana behind the scenes, that's awesome. But it's not something to flex about. It's not something to, sort of say that, yo, my product is something that is, very unique on blockchain. Or Sarthak, well, you are correct in that sense. Some products that are specific to Solana can use that sort of that wording. Like for example, or something that are sort of a dev tool maybe. Those dev tools can use the word that, okay, we are a Solana dev tool or something. That's fine. But when it comes to building products that are more generic, for example, if you're building a payments project, there is absolutely no need to advertise it's the Solana payments project. If you're building, let's say, I don't know, we can give some of the examples. If you're building, let's say, a social media platform, no one cares if your social media platform is using Solana or not. You don't have to use that wording. But for consumer apps, that's correct. That's the exact correct term here. For consumer apps, no one really cares if your product is using blockchain or not. But for things like maybe, let's say, Jupyter. Jupyter is aggregator, right? So you have to use the word that, okay, it's a Solana aggregator. You can swap tokens there because it's a completely crypto native project. But if you're building something that's more wider, that's more generic, that's for more consumers, that's for something beyond the crypto ecosystem, you should try to avoid using this sort of crypto terminology, right? Then a lot of you might be in your ideation phase now. A lot of you might have not started working on a project. I would say get started now, because just submitting your idea is not going to help you out. In fact, one of the reasons why I think I won the Solana Summer Camp Hackathon is because I submitted a demo of my project. So in case you guys don't know, my project was called Stellasol. It came second in the Solana Summer Camp Hackathon. I will just show you guys Solana Summer Camp Hackathon winners. Let's see it real quick. Okay, you know it. Can you tell me how can I pronounce your name? Because I suck at it. Can you tell us all? You just spelled out your own name spelling. Okay, Prashida. Is that correct?
Yeah, Prashida.
Thank you. Awesome. Okay, Prashida. Okay, so Stellasol came second. That's my project. Well, I'm using dual boot, so I code on Linux, but right now for the call I have booted on Linux. On Windows, I booted there. So Stellasol came second and Sphere came first. So the reason why I think I came second is because I submitted a demo. So Stellasol was basically a browser extension that allowed you to use crypto to purchase things on Amazon. Okay, yes, you install Zoom on Linux. Yeah, it works on Linux, but I think I just prefer hosting these calls and stuff on Windows. I think it's just I don't know, it's just my preference. For technical stuff, I keep Linux, but for more like generic stuff, I use Windows. So where was I at? So Stellasol was a browser extension that allowed you to use your cryptocurrency to check out in Amazon and Flipkart. So it was using some automation stuff that we built, and I submitted a demo of using the extension to actually buy something on Amazon. So it was a really, really cool demo. I don't have the video right now, but I will definitely share with you guys if you want to. You can just DM me on WhatsApp. And I submitted a demo, and I feel like that was the reason why I won, because I personally don't think so my slides were that good even. But my demo was the reason why I believe judges like my project. That's why I would strongly recommend you guys to build at least an MVP. It could be very basic. It could be something that's maybe it's not looking pretty at all. Maybe you just have a very basic landing page. It's fine. But you should have something functional, something that can be used, something that can be shown. And even with my Sandstorm Hackathon win, I did not build my project entirely. In fact, I had my school exams, so I was sort of busy, and I feel like I could not participate in this hackathon. But then they extended the deadline by 1 day. So within 1 day, I built a project real quick. But obviously, since I built the project in one day, it was not that good. But at least I built something that could be used. I recorded a demo and I submitted it. So even though it was not complete, at least it was something, right? So that's why I think I also won that hackathon. So what I'm trying to convey is that build at least an MVP, show that it can be used. That's how the judges would know that you are building something that's unique, something that's cool. You have to sort of get that feeling out of the judges that, okay, this is cool. You have to, make them feel excited about your idea. And the way you can make them excited is by showing a demo. And this is not just for Solana hackathons, by the way. This is advice that often YC gives. Y Combinator. You guys must be aware of Y Combinator. It's the world's biggest startup accelerator. And this is an advice that they also give. They should try to show a demo of your project. That's how the judges could know. That's how the people and VCs could know that you're building something specific that's cool. And with slides, okay, now coming back to slides, you should also submit a slide for your project. And in your slide, try to add more images, more visual things. Don't try to add a lot of text. In fact, if you notice, I have not added a lot of text in this slide as well. I can see maybe one slide had a lot of text, but yeah, this one may be a lot of text. I don't know. This is also very simple. This is also very basic. So basically, no one's going to read all the text that you have in the slides. You don't have to write a write-up. You have to write small points. You have to write short things, because judges are not going to sit back and see, okay, this and that, this and that, this and that. They're not going to read all that. In fact, a lot of judges actually just keep the slides that have a lot of text outside. So try to reduce the text of your slide content. And Prashid, yes, proof of concept. That's what I'm trying to say. You should at least have proof of your concept that you have built something, how it looks like. Vishal, yes, it could be an intro video. It could be anything, right? It could be a Loom recording where you are giving a walkthrough of your project. It could be a demo of your project. It could even be a Figma sort of a flow. You're showing how things work. It could be maybe a demo of someone else using it. Basically, you have to show something to judges, something that they could see to get a better idea of your project. That's what I'm trying to convey here. Okay. So you just have to add some sort of demo, some sort of video, some sort of media using which judges can judge what your thing actually is. And with slides, you have my socials. Well, my Twitter is, and you can also DM me on WhatsApp if you're in the Radar Hackathon community group. That's my Twitter or X. I don't know. I just call it Twitter. So you can DM me there if you want. And also I'm available on WhatsApp. But yeah, actually it's better if you DM me on Twitter, because WhatsApp is for a lot more stuff as well. So I just sort of miss the messages there. On Twitter or X, I would not miss your messages. Anyways, going back to the slides part, just summarizing it again. Build products, not projects. You have to build something that can be used by real people. Build something that is using crypto technology, but it's not advertising using the crypto word, because no one really cares about that. Talk less, show more, which means add less text to your slides, add more visual stuff to your slides. Then finally add a demo so that judges can see what your product actually is. Add a walkthrough, add a demo, add a recording of someone using it, add a sort of your own video where you're explaining how things work. Those are much better. And also keep them short. Don't make 10-minute long video. 10 minutes is also very long. Keep them under 3 minutes. Judges have a lot of submissions to go through, and they would never sit back for a single submission for a long time. Always keep your videos within 3 minutes. In fact, when I was recording Stellasaur demo, I was strictly trying to get it under 2 minutes, but every single time I was getting it over 2 minutes, 30 seconds. So I just tried to somehow cut it down. I skipped some steps just to ensure that if I'm skipping steps, that could help me, get everything in judges' mind so that they don't skip my video entirely. I have to skip steps in my demo to allow judges to not skip my video entirely, right? I don't know if that makes sense or not. So basically, try to keep it short, keep less content in your slides. Just think from the POV of judges. You have to judge so many submissions out there, and every single Solana hackathon gets record-breaking submissions, right? So that's why try to keep it short, try to keep it sweet, convey as much as you can within that short time frame. Okay. Let's see what else do we have in the slides. And I know most of you are here from this Radar Hackathon community, but I also shared this calls link on Twitter. So if some of you might have joined from, so if any one of you have joined from there, you can just scan this QR code to get into one of the Radar Hackathon communities on WhatsApp, where everyone is collaborating, talking to others, asking queries. So I'm just going to keep this here for some time. And my socials, sure. It's 1 second. I will just share my. I'm just gonna write X now. Bolt. Discord. What am I on Discord? I think let me just check real quick. Is it Hey Bolt? I guess. Let me see. It's Hey Bolt. Yeah, on Discord I am Hey Bolt. So if you have not joined the Radar Hackathon WhatsApp community yet, you can join it here using this QR code. Can someone? Oh, it's not. Oh, I was just gonna ask that if this QR is not working, if this QR is working or not. Let me just get this thing quickly. Actually, you know what? I will just share the link with you guys. It would be easier. Scanning the QR code, I don't think so. It's really needed. Is the QR not working at all, or is it leading you to somewhere else? Okay, it's deactivated. Okay, that's better. I hope it's not leading you to some other suspicious places. Let me open up the link. Where is it? And by the way, this is the last segment of the call. So if you have any questions, you can formulate that in your brain. We will talk about that in a minute. Oh no, where's the link? Just a second, guys. I can't find the link. Oh no. Where's the link? Where's the link? Yeah, I'm not able to find it. Sorry. You guys can just DM me on Twitter. I will find it and send it to you guys if you're not in the Radar Hackathon WhatsApp community still. Okay, so boom, that's the end of it really. Keep building. And if you have any questions, you can ask that now. You can open your mic. You can ask it in the chat. I will just see the chat now. I will expand my chat screen to answer you all better. Lalit, how do you know that? Yo, yes, I did. Damn, how do you know that? Oh, okay. Actually, you know what? If you guys remember, Kunal was in Super Teens. He built a type racing bot. Oh no, he built a. Oh wait. Okay, I'm confusing there. He built a mechanical keyboard sound thing, and I built a type racing bot. I forgot that I covered it in Super Teens as well. Yes, I did build a type racing bot on Discord. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, I
Super
saw
Teens.
a super team video, and I recognized you by seeing right now.
Oh,
So I just thought I have seen you somewhere.
makes sense. So, yes, Kunal Bagaria. Yeah. Soham Super Teens is a documentary that was produced by Super Team DAO, covering 4 young students from India who are doing stuff in Web3. I am also featured there. That's why we are talking about it. And there are the 3 other students there. One is Kunal. He's also a very old Super Team member. One is Gajesh. He is working at EigenLayer. I'm not sure if you guys know about it or not, but it's a Ethereum thingy. I don't know much about Ethereum. And one is Ujjwal. He is also a Super Team member. He's also an old member. Are you the Discord mod? I'm not sure what you mean by that. FTX bro, Gajesh, Vishal, yes. Yes, Sarthak, sure, 100%. You can DM me. Just let me know your Sarthak in case you have some other weird anime profile picture name on your Twitter. Tutorial, which tutorial? Oh man, I missed so many of these texts. Let me just go through. Wait, I'll just go above. Starting with Vishal. Okay, you asked 3 questions. Question down. To be honest, debugging is a pain in the. What would be your suggestion for debugging code in Solana? Just basically letting grind. Honestly, you are correct, because I know what we're coming from. Basically, whenever you do any action, either you would get an error from the Solana Web3.js library, or you would get an error from the blockchain side when you're sending a transaction, right? And I would say, I don't know, it depends on people. For me, it was, when I started, it was harder for me to debug these blockchain side of errors, because you generally get an error code returned and you don't know what that error code means. So you end up searching for it everywhere. But yes, debugging is hard. But honestly, right nowadays, I feel like a lot of answers are there on Stack Exchange and in other places. So maybe you can join Anchor's Discord server if you're using Anchor framework to integrate smart contracts. You can just search the question in the Discord search chat, and I'm sure someone would have asked that already. You can ask it in on Stack Exchange. And yes, I mean, that's basically my suggestion really. And yes, of course, ask question to people. On Super Team, you can ask in Super Team Discord server, you can ask it in a WhatsApp community, and I'm sure someone would answer you, because for me, I also faced a lot of errors that was quite weird, and I basically was dependent on others helping me out. So just try to ask as much as you can. You can also ask on Twitter, by the way. You can tag someone maybe, and that they would help out. LLMs are noob in debugging code. True. SDKs will be updated very easily. LLMs won't be. True. How could we get help? Man, something's got to work, man. Something's got to work. Wait, I'm not keeping up with the chat. Okay. My best suggestion is to just ask people. I know LLMs won't be able to keep up with Solana development. In fact, right now, Cursor, ChatGPT, Claude all suck at Solana development. So don't depend on them. Try to follow the resources that there are on the Solana, developer resources. You can go to solana.com/developers. You have all the resources there. And like debugging is a process that's not very straightforward, right? I cannot tell you what exactly you can do. It's something that you explore and sort of understand while you're at it. So right now, just ask anywhere you can. You can ask me as well. I will be open to helping out. And yes, it should be fine for you. Tips for projects which did not win any hackathon but has a potential of applying a grant. Apply for a grant then. I mean, yes, if you think like your project maybe cannot become a business, but it could be a really great addition to the ecosystem, you can apply for a grant instead. That's better. And yes, you can apply for a CoinDCX grant if you go to earn.superteam.fun. Earn.superteam.fun. You can go to the grants section. You can see this Coin DCX grant here. This one, you can apply to this. It's up to 15,000 USDC. And if you feel like your project is not a hackathon thing, it's not a business sort of thing, if it's more of a really cool addition to the ecosystem, it could be a developer tool, because obviously developer tools are not businesses. You build them for developers to use. If it's something else that could be a public good maybe, then you can apply for a grant instead. Here, CoinDCX grant. And that would be a better option for you. Let me pop the chat up again. I know I'm very, very behind. Yo, where did the chat go? Chat, where are you at? Chat. Oh, okay. When will we get a deep dive session with Solana programs? So honestly, you know what? I think it might be a bit late, because I should have maybe done a deep dive earlier, but I was busy with some other workshops. I was doing some workshops in colleges here near Delhi. So it would be difficult, but I can host a session on that if you guys want it. We will just start a poll on our communities, and you'll see if people want a deep dive on technical stuff or not. Tossi, you have told me about your idea. Seems like a good idea, but let me tell you, some other people also have done that. In fact, Super Team Earn that you see here, this was actually similar to that, where we had an on-chain sort of a proof of work thingy. We had an NFT which would get updated every time you would complete some specific task, and that was sort of a proof of work that was being built for you, and you had escrows and stuff. But ultimately, a lot of people don't really use them. So I think Super Team Earn, that's why it removed that sort of a proof of work thing. It has a proof of work now, but it's not a blockchain NFT that was there earlier. So yes, I mean, there have been platforms, but obviously you can do something different and you could build something better. Tutorials on Rust. Yes, like Rush. No, what am I saying? Someone said Rust book, I guess. Yes, did you? Yes, okay, yes, Rust book. Rust book is the best resource out there. And as I'm so bad at this. As Prashid has pointed out, Let's Get Rusty is a really good YouTube channel for that as well. So follow along the Rust book, follow along the Let's Get Rusty YouTube channel, code things yourself, and that would be good. I have not checked out Kirat's recent video, so I'm not sure how good that is, but it must be good as well, because Kirat is pretty dope. Gopal, it is okay to participate solo, but it's not recommended. You should always try to participate in teams, because that increases your chances of winning, and that also increases your chances of winning the hackathon and also building something successful. So yes, it's okay, it's completely allowed, but I would not recommend it at all. Just try to find a co-founder, someone who could build with you. Judges would also like it. They would have a stronger belief in you that, okay, there are two people building it, that means it's going to have a higher rate of success. So yes, it's better to participate with someone else as well. Once again, YC also recommends this, that you should always try to find a co-founder if possible, because that's better for the company overall. Can you please have a chat later, Sarthak? Yes, we can have a chat later. Aditya, hey bhaiya, complete noise here. I just want to ask, how would you have blocked in from 0 to given chance? I would just follow along the first Solana course that's there in the solana.com/developers resource. Developers. This course is pretty great. Solana development course. Just follow along this and code alongside. A lot of people just end up reading these courses, watching videos, but don't end up coding themselves, and then they understand nothing. So there's no point of just seeing videos and stuff. Please try to code something alongside. That's how you would learn. Who is Solana intern on WhatsApp? That's not me. I don't know. That's someone else. I don't know. That's not me. I have built using Solidity once. How to get comfortable with Rust? Solidity is very easy in comparison to Rust. It would take you time. It would take you some time to get comfortable with Rust, but we do have a framework called Anchor that you can use to build Solana programs, and it makes it very easy to build programs. In fact, you don't even need to know Rust syntax completely. You can just copy paste stuff, modify stuff, and you can build programs in Solana. In fact, I also started building programs in Solana using Anchor without even learning Rust properly first. So don't even if you know the basics right now, you can just start building using Anchor by copying, pasting stuff, and modifying. Kumar, sure, you can, Anurag, you can just ask me on Twitter. I can help you out. What is some part of a project are complex to build as a demo before radar? It's fine, Aditi. You can just demo something at the very least. If we have further plans to add something complex, you can also mention that, and it will be fine. Don't worry if you cannot build the entire thing, because it's not expected from you to build the entire thing before the hackathon ends. You have to at least show something, and then tell the judges further on how you are going to implement this further on and what your ideas are. Please send the recording of this meeting. I will. What would you recommend Solana UI library of front-end frameworks from scratch? Janvi, just use Solana's, where was I at? Use React.js and use Solana wallet adapter. And Solana Wallet Adapter already has a UI component library which you can use to import some basic wallet components. So use that. Yes, to enter Super Team DAO, you can enter as a contributor by contributing to the Super Team's repositories or some other Solana ecosystem stuff. And if you want to become the member, which is the highest, you can say, level of Super Team, being in a Super Team, apart from the core contributors, to become a member, you have to either win a grant or do something really cool that some other member suggests you to be, some other member sort of refers you. But generally, the best way, the only way that's there is to win a grant. So if you get a grant, you would become a Super Team member. Shrey, okay, that's a good idea. I will discuss it with the team to create a personal community for ideas and stuff. Vignesh, how do I validate the idea? That's a good question because a lot of times people are not sure if the idea is good or not. I would say just try to share it with the Solana OGs, which means people who are already in the ecosystem for a while. Share it with them. Maybe message them on Twitter. I'm sure you will get a reply, and try to get an idea from them. You can also share it with me. I can